Hi, this is Scott with the Ramsey Canyon Inn, and we're releasing our third video in our ongoing series exclusively through Cool FM. Today's video is going to be hyper-focused on our permit. On February 17th, 2024, we went through an in-depth, in-person inspection with Dan Coxworth, who at the time was the director of the zoning and planning department for Cochise County. And we walked through the property, looked through the buildings, discussed all of the activities that take place at our property. And after evaluating all of those things, Dan Coxworth had no issues with any of the activities on our property. The only concern that he had at the time had to do with the use of the street parking, which I'm going to do a separate video specifically about that. The following clip is from a phone call between Dan Coxworth and myself on March 18th, 2024, and it was a follow-up call from the in-person inspection that took place on February 17th, 2024.
And just so you're aware, I have a court hearing tomorrow. Is this coming from Jen and Greg Scaldone this time? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they're upset because of two things. One, I filed an order of protection against them because they came up here harassing my guest, the first big wedding we had a couple weeks ago. And I've got documented harassment from them going back to October of last year, but I wasn't going to take action until it started affecting our business, which it did. So they're upset right now. I'm sure that their level of aggression towards calling you and other departments has probably tripled or quadrupled in the last couple weeks. When I do get a complaint, I do have to follow up on it. I just can't ignore it. Right. So I understand that. I did go up there. I get it that you guys are just all bickering. I hate to get in the middle of that. So I approach it from a land use perspective, what's been permitted. I don't disagree that, and I still stand by the weddings are accessory to the business. I'm not on this phone call to say, you got to stop it.
These next clips are from 1 week later, after Jen and Greg Sheldon and what will become the group known as the Ramsey Canyon Neighborhood Association continue to aggressively contact county departments with complaints.
Man, it's quite a show we got going on up there now. Anyway, how can I help you? You had sent me an email basically saying that this complaint, anonymous complaint, was filed. I believe that's the one you forwarded me. They creatively used, my wife's name is April, mine's Scott, and they used S8A Kepner, like SNA Kepner at gmail.com. They created like a fictitious Gmail account, I guess, to send it from. I know definitively that it came from Jen and Greg Sheldon, or they're at least involved, because we had a court hearing with them. We're seeking an order of protection that I petitioned like a month ago. And literally, like almost verbatim, he made comments that are in this complaint in court. So I'm confident where the complaint is stemming from. They're digging deep. They're calling. They're also, a lot of smart people. They're asking about processes, and it's just a matter of time for one of them challenges my decision that this is accessory. And I've told the people who've called me, I said, this is the process. I've explained that you could challenge this decision. It may not get heard till May. It may not even get heard till July, middle of July. And even in July, you could ask the hearing officer to go to the next two. Are going to get frustrated. They're going to get mad. They're going to get mad at me. They're going to get mad at this process. But that's the process, to be fair to everybody, that is available to us. I have had the hearing officer go against my decision for some kind of crazy stuff sometimes. So I would, never really predict what he's going to say. Okay. The nice thing about that is it provides some closure for you and for me as to next steps. And then if he doesn't go in your favor, you could always appeal that to the Board of Supervisors. As long as you're in process somewhere, then we wouldn't assess fines, we wouldn't assess fees. And as you're in process, that's my answer to the people in the canyon of what's going on as well. He's currently in process, waiting for hearing officer, definitely appreciate that. I've told you this before, and I do mean it, unequivocally. Like, my desire is to follow all the rules, do everything by the book. I don't want to have any issues here. I bought a business, so I know for me, like, just coming in as a new owner, spending a significant amount of money on this business, assuming it's properly permitted, I just want to, more than anything, just understand the process so that I can respond accordingly and get the ball rolling. I just want to make sure that me contesting the code violation through the hearing officer and potentially the appeal process, depending on how it plays out, doesn't prohibit me from applying to modify the special use permit down the road.
No, it doesn't. Okay. It's just really part of the process.
So now that you've heard some clips of the conversations that we had with high-ranking county officials regarding this matter, you can understand why we have taken our legal right to contest this violation allegation that came purely and 100% from a complaint-driven department receiving complaints, most of which came directly from the owners of a competing business just down the road from us.